Siasa ni muhimu kwa sababu siasa ni mara mbili. Siasa can be very emotive, very juicy, and filled with a lot of empty promises that never materialize. Or siasa inaweza kuwa watu wanaambiana ukweli na wanajua ya kwamba ndio tufike pahali ambapo tunataka kufika. There is no quick fix. Sijui kama tunaelewana. There is no quick fix. It is going to take blood, sweat, tears, and a lot of toil if we want to make this country that country that all of us dream of. Nataka tushindane kwa fikira. Nataka tushindane kwa kujiuliza tutafika mwisho wa safari hii kwa njia gani? Jana nilisema ya kwamba BBI imekuwa safari. BBI sio kitu ambacho kilianza hivi hivi. Kuna wale ambao pia hata mimi wamenitangulia. Wale ambao vile tumesikia kijana akisema hapa walipigania uhuru wa taifa hili, na kwa sababu ya kujitolea kwao hata huo uhuru hawakuona. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Hawakuona. Kuna wengine nao walipigania uhuru, wakateswa, wakafungwa, na mwishowe waliuona ule uhuru, ule independence, freedom. Lakini walifika hapo wakiwa bado ni wazee. They were old men, all of them. Miaka yao yote ya udogo, their youthful years, they were in the struggle, fighting for their independence. And that is why we are saying, remove these dirty politics of 2022 and dividing people. Class, wewe ni tajiri, sijui wewe ni maskini. Na tuseme, as a country, if you want to be a leader, let us work together to ensure we put in place the right constitution, put in place the right policies to ensure that we end poverty. But poverty cannot be ended by handouts, my dear brothers and sisters. Yeah? It will never be ended by handouts. Yeah? Uhuru is here today, tomorrow is gone. So if you were dependent on me, saidiaing you and your wife and your child, sasa wakati nitakuwa hapa, utafanya namna gani? Na hujajipanga.
Fellow Africans, I took this petition to the court in order to stop any future usage of falsehood and false documents, procured witnesses of the Waki Commission. I took this petition to the court 4 years ago in order to make sure that the Chief Prosecutor of International Criminal Court does not use this evidence anytime in the future, whether tomorrow or 10 years to come, to refer to this evidence because the evidence was fake. It is with this dismay and with this courage that I took to go to court in Kenya to seek a judicial review and to redeem the credibility of both those accused and the victims of this catastrophe that occurred in Kenya, that I decided to seek to expunge this report from the reports and the statute books of Kenya. It is unfortunate that the three judges in Kenya, whom I will name now, Judge Kanyi Kimondo, Judge Aburil, and Judge Onyengo, all of them sat down and gave very silly, flimsy, prudish, sardonic ruling against our petition. Thank you very much. It's 24 minutes past 8 o'clock East Africa, London time, GMT, and 11:24 in Nairobi, where Miriam Ogutu is in the general headquarters. Thank you very much, the panel. Wherever you were, Douglas Kirimi in Meru, thank you. Javan Karanja in Nanyuki, thank you. Professor Gerard Onyari in the CPD, good morning, my brothers, sister and brothers.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. This is MATSANGA Africa Perspective, a show that was the original show of this television station. How we look at Africa. Do you see PLO Lumumba speak the same way today? It doesn't look like. What has happened? Changes have come. Do you see Barack Muluka speak the same way today? No, they speak differently. How many people are criticizing the AU? It is different. Everybody seems to have kept quiet. As Miriam will tell you later on in the evening, in the afternoon, you will be embarrassed. You will be shocked. The Assembly of State Parties in New York, we have 34 countries, Miriam. And the 34 countries, African countries, all of them supported Sylvia Gumedi, Sylvia Fernandez Gumedi, to become the president of ASP. You know the history of Sylvia Fernandez Gumedi. You were here when we were making that application on corruption with Ocampo. But 34 African countries worked and supported, including Kenya. So, my dear sister and brothers, are we enemies of ourselves? Miriam, you look at that later on in the afternoon. This morning, I have a humble mission just to say for 20 minutes or so or below on a subject that touches Kenya. and the experts on the panel from Professor Onyari, Javani Karanja, Douglas Kirimi, Miriam, you have the newspapers there in your hands. I would like you to hold them in your hands so that our people, if you have, our people can see exactly those three papers. If you look at the headlines of the three papers of Kenya, all four, what comes into your mind immediately as a tourist coming out of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, or as a person sat who's sitting in London or New York watching the events, wanting to book your holiday to Kenya, wanting to go to Kenya to invest in a factory, wanting to go to Kenya to see the city of champions in Iten, wanting to go to Kenya to see the Mara, wanting to come to Kenya to go to Mombasa. What do you think when you sit out there, when you read such headlines that Miriam is holding in her hands in Nairobi? If Miriam can mention those headlines, mention them, Miriam, on the headlines, please.
All right, thank you, Doctor. On the Star newspaper, the headline this morning is Uhuru Ruto showdown as Parliament resumes. And on the People's Daily, it says showdown looms as MPs reconvene. And on the Daily Nation, it says big fight over BBI question. And on the Standard newspaper, the headline is it time to end curfew?
Thank you very much. I know the viewers and the panel will agree with me today that all those newspapers have a common denominator. And the common denominator is war or conflict. Or you can simplify it, violence. Or you can simply say things fall apart. Each one for himself and God for us all. That's the scenario that you can summarize Kenya. That when you are in abroad, what does the media of Kenya put it? What have they done? Are they part of the enterprise that is destroying this country? Are they part of the regime change apparatus? Do they know what we don't know? If you look at many of the panelists who are called, they don't condemn corruption. Very few people condemn corruption openly. In fact, it is this channel, Miriam, where you are, that your panelists condemn corruption and even mention the names of the corrupt people. But some of the television stations, you are told by the people the condition of your to be admitted as long as you don't speak about Ruto. As long as you don't speak about the former prime minister. As long as you don't speak about so and so. We are not allowing you to come here because of this order. Are the editors pocketed? Is there criminality? Is there corruption that has entered the media, the print and the electronic media? That is the subject we are grappling on. Each of you today, this morning, has his own or her own views. We shall bring those views before Miriam, and Miriam will bring her views also. She's a journalist. Has she been told to come and put an envelope has been given to her. She goes out for an assessment and she's told, don't cover the story of corruption. She goes out in the court, say, if you see Kagwach, Kajakwa, don't mention his name. Are there people doing this? Are certain television stations compromised? Who stands for the state? How many of the television media newspapers are speaking in favor of the state programs? We see roads constructed. We see railway running. No journalist queries what Ruto says about the railway. But 2017, Ruto said, we cannot take Indian Ocean to be in Naivasha. In 2021, he says, watu wanawanyang'anya, they have taken your port and they have now gone to build it in Kisumu and Naivasha. Do we as an editor or editors of these newspapers screen such information, or we report verbatim? Just that. What are we educating the masses? We are the fourth estate. We are the champions of the masses. We talk on behalf of the masses. We talk on projects that are very worth talking about. If you look at all these type of things, you find that how many people in Kenya support the government? The government itself. How many media houses support the government? At least for us on this platform, we have been very open, and we said we are with the government. But where the government has gone wrong on several occasions, I believe, Professor, on the other time, on the question of schools, we disagreed with the government of returning our children to schools. We have disagreed with corruption. We've disagreed with the way the president has handled the deputy president by giving him freedom to insult him. We have said the cabinet should be disbanded. On this television itself, on this platform, we have not been shy. We disagreed with the way a COVID-19 situation was being handled. We said it. Not all of us were very happy with KEMSA and other things when corruption hit. So there are quite a lot of things that we would like to look at. What makes television stations do the way they are doing? Is there an outside hand? What are they with? You see, when they want to antagonize everybody, they bring Martha Karua. You have seen, you know very well Martha Karua does not act. There is nobody who agrees. Martha Karua does not agree with anybody. So when you bring Martha Karua on the program, bring another person who can counter Martha Karua. But if you bring Martha Karua, she will take it a day and call it a day and a win. So these are some of the things that we wanted to look at today without much of your time. Is the media becoming an enterprise of criminality against the state in Kenya? Is there criminality? Is there something that the media knows? Not only in Kenya, look across the continent. In Uganda, for example, Bob Wine wrote a letter accusing the National Broadcasting Service, NBS, of concocting the results. You saw that letter of Bob Wine. So when you are discussing the media in Africa, look at the media in Africa. How many media outlets are talking about the war in Nigeria? For example, so many Nigerians are dying, but the Nigerian media is talking about Dagote. Is Dagote saving them? In Uganda, you saw what happened. The media there cannot operate. Yes, for Uganda we cannot. But for Kenya, where we thought there could be some semblance, I am more worried about the message. I'm not worried about how independently they can do their work. They can do it. But the message, as a conflict resolution manager or anybody who has studied, you can see that the printout every morning delivers you to a warpath. Those are my worries, is the media dragging a narrative towards a war path and violence. Miriam, back to you. That is my submission on the topic. And I'm ready to take any questions. Please don't fear to ask any. If there is any possibility, okay, I will answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. An interesting conversation here as a journalist. Okay. So, Doctor, there's a point that you've ended with is the media are used in fueling violence, I think. And over there, we've seen media being a very fertile ground in which division, incitement, hate speech sometimes gets to be aired and is spread to the masses without even them knowing that this is what they're doing, but them airing some of these things and sentiments that are being put out there by some very careless leaders that we have in these countries. So on that part, I think sometimes media fail this country. So I don't know how the rest of the panelists will respond. Let's speak the last part there that Doctor has said. I'll start with you, Professor Onyari. Is the media in Kenya a part of a criminal enterprise that is dismembering the state? Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. And also we need to understand that the media is an enabler of better communications and also getting these people in our country informed and also the outside world. We have seen what a media that has been stifled, a media with no voice in Uganda can be able to do, because they have enabled and also continued people in rural areas rely on television and also radio stations to be able to get proper information and all that. Remember, in this country, Miriam, when we talk about corruption, many people think that we hate the people that are corrupt. But if the media write these stories and also journalists come out and also do stories on Douglas Mundi Kilemi's accounts of corruption, if I have grabbed someone's land, if I'm milking someone's cows, the media should come out and tell it as it is. If I have stolen government funds from government projects, they shouldn't say that I stole 10 tons of cement from the SGL. They should say as it is. The media should say that my hotels stand on a grabbed piece of land. They should say my rural home has been built by labor that has been facilitated by government, which is abuse of office and also misuse of public resources. The media should come out clearly and tell us Governor Nanok of Turkana has received 65 billion from donors and there's nothing tangible that he can be able to show. They should tell us Governor Nanok of Turkana has received 100 million from the billion from national government, and there is nothing they have been able to do. Then media should tell us when these people like Rigathi Gachagua continue stealing public resources and also continue besmirching the President of the Republic of Kenya and his government, that these are stolen resources from these in particular government agencies, because Rigathi Gachagua has been linked with several agencies that have been able to have been giving him monies, and also the county government of Nyeri when his brother was in London. They should be telling these stories. They should not tell us this is a Nairobi businessman, this is a politician who has been alleged of corruption. They should do investigative journalism and bring it to the public. They should be able to tell us this is the MD of Kenya Power who has been steering and also bringing down Kenya Power. They should tell us if the deputy president, through according to Douglas Mundi Kirimi, is a corrupt man, he stole Muteshi Randi, he stole the KC Randi, he stole this and this. We should be taught, and informed citizenry is a forward-thinking citizenry. If we are not informed of anything by these media houses, we cannot be able to speak our minds. We cannot be able to know which is which. For example, today, we are told of many stories about how the deputy president stole the Muteshi Randi. The media does not want to highlight that thing. Today, the impeachment motion in the National Assembly, one of its anchors is that the deputy president stole land in 2018.
Just hold on one moment. All these examples you're citing, the media in Kenya highlighted the Muteshi story. It was there in the papers. Let's just be very straight with our facts here.
Miriam, you know what the media cannot do? They cannot bring you on board so that you can be able to speak these things fluently and courageously. They will write these things, but they will not link them directly to the person who is also corrupt. For example, there is very scant information on Rigathi Gachagua's billions that he has been able to steal from government, Miriam. For example, if today I Douglas Bundi Keremi, am accused of stealing 1 million from government, they will write it in media, but they will never allow proper investigative journalism to come out in front so that we can be able to see truly this Douglas is a corrupt man. For example, the media will say one day that
Douglas, let me come in to support and maybe highlight something so that Miriam, we don't forget. It is true, Miriam is correct. The media has highlighted these things. But how deep, what Douglas is meaning is how deep. For example, we did not know that when did Ruto pay Muteshi? When? The media did not tell us. Until Muteshi's death is when we started hearing Muteshi was paid. You get my point? Let's be very honest. But nobody went back to see how many people are suffering in the hands of Ruto in Muteshi in the Rift Valley. We could bring up a story, a very important story. We are not saying they don't highlight it, but highlighting then tomorrow. Take, for example, every Monday morning, Mr. Rigathi is on Citizen TV as if he has bought a seat there. And brought in by this young man called somebody. The anchor, Sam Katiku. Look at the way Rigathi operates like he does not have a case with the DCI. Of 7 billion, he cleans himself. In fact, that type of cleaning, Miriam, creates a conflict in Kenya. Creates a conflict by, the DCI are looked at as enemies because the DCI has gone to arrest a very good man who never had 7 billion shillings. In Britain, the media will bring you in, even if you are a rapist, and put you on the microphone, but the journalist in Britain will ask you questions that out of those questions, the court could convict you. How many of our television stations do the same, Miriam? For example, if you went to the Citizen, the director behind you will tell you, hello, huyo mutu yetu, usimunguze. So while you are talking there, Rigathi comes to even tell the government off. You are stupid, you don't know what you have done, you have just, you harass me because I support Ruto. You see, so people who are fighting corruption get discouraged, Miriam. But if the media told us that Mr. Muteshi's land was paid for, Ruto gave a 5 million check, and we take a copy of that check, we follow where the 5 million came from. Have you seen how media works in Britain? They check the money. In Britain, if they say you are going to be, for example, if you are going to be the one standing bail for Miriam, you must come when you are prepared, because Miriam, the man you have called to stand bail for might end up with you in the same jail. Why? You have to bring your book of savings. You are standing bail for Miriam, but show us how you made this money so that the court can accept money for surety. Can I tell you, can I convince you that in Kenya, all the people on bail, including Waruke, if you go and investigate the people who came to bail them and ask them where they got the money, the answer is like mine.
Your answer is like mine. They didn't have that money. That money was just given to them. So we need an investigative journalist, real journalist, to go back and ask Waluke's sureties, how did you make this money of 100 million to stand surety for Waluke? How much property do you have to be a surety that in case Mr. Waluke disappears with 1 billion shillings, the government will sell this estate? Do we do it or we don't do it? That is the point that Mr. Kirimi might have wanted to bring out, if I'm not wrong, that there are things that happen here, but we highlight them. And the media is equally right. The media has highlighted, but to what degree does the media highlight these things such that it does not cause conflict? And to what degree do they highlight that it gets more conflict? Do we follow up our stories? Have we followed up the story? For example, how many people in the Rift Valley who have been resettled, who are like a Mutesh, the late Mutesh, and the land of where Ruto grabbed? How many people? How many people are sleeping in boys' quarters in Nairobi when they used to have big buildings and big farms? There are many. So does the media follow the story? That is what we are looking for. A very progressive, constructive media. Not a media that Mr. Rigathi can pay 50,000 shillings and tell them every morning on Monday, come and abuse those I stole from. Yes, every day, come and abuse Sonko. Let me give an example. The media in Kenya know that Mr. Sonko died in 2005. And that thing had been floating everywhere. Until Mr. Sonko was caught again. Have you seen? Is now the media is saying, this thing is serious. Sonko died in 2005. That prison, which name I cannot mention, Miriam knows the name. Shimoya
Simratewa.
Latewa. The commissioner there found out that the prisoner who died of heart attack in Mombasa General Hospital resurrected in Nairobi. But the media had that information. It's not the first time that Sonko took his documents to the EACC and the DCI. How many people in the media followed the story? Now we have a story at our hands. A resurrected Jesus Christ and a dead Sonko. We are now having a conflict. Do you write about the dead Sonko or the resurrected Jesus Christ who is being held? Do you now give such a man bail? Magistrates, that's why magistrates are postponing everything. Do we give bail that this man could run to heaven? You know, because he's a new man who has arrived. So who is following this story? Instead, we have a headline which says, as Miriam read it, Uhuru Ruto showdown. Raila Ruto showdown. Is curfew. When is it ending? We always look for a story of soft earning. We don't go out to look for stories that can highlight the obstacles of this nation. Look at the obstacle of this nation. The media today is keeping quiet. As I go, Miriam, is keeping quiet. Madam, there is nobody pointing out today that if you hold the Kenya elections the way the electoral body is, it is, and the way the rules are, there will be a conflict, a big, violent conflict. What we are doing, the media is fragmenting BBI, calling it Raila, calling it executive. Raila wants a post of presidency, pitting the BBI into Raila and Ruto, beating the BBI into Ruto and Uhuru. Now, nobody is sitting down because we as civilians, imagine all of us are not journalists, we rely on the fourth estate. That's why after the judiciary, parliament, executive, there is the fourth government. The fourth government of the world is called the media. Unlike most of the people in Britain who have ended up in the parliament and become very productive, and the leaders have worked as journalists. Why? They do investigative. Ask Johnson, Boris Johnson. He worked as one of the journalists, investigating story. It gives you inside knowledge. Here, you need to be a lawyer. With so many, like a lawyer, Kid Mwaga, you can enter the parliament so easily. People will accept it. The journalist profession, medium, has been watered. It has been watered down. It has been reduced. Journalists are called like animals that come quickly. Today, I'm going to open up a toilet somewhere near River Road. Come and take a picture. Then splash them. I want them flashed this way, not that way. That's my point.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Douglas, complete your thought, please. You're still talking.
Thank you, Miriam, and thank you to Dr. MATSANGA for bringing out my thoughts pattern and also catching my thought train. One thing we need to understand is that when the media tells us, when you, Miriam, read a story and tell us Rigathi Gachagua has been taking money from the irrigation board and other, was that money returned? Like Dr. MATSANGA was saying, was that money that you are accused as Douglas Bundikeremi, have you returned that money to the county government of Meru? Is the illegal payment that you have received from government agencies, have you been able to pay back that illegal payment? But where now we have a problem is when now Douglas comes out and says, Jevan Karanja is accusing me of supporting another function, so I'm being persecuted politically. We need to remove politics from corruption in this country, Miriam. We need to be able to separate the wheat from the chaff. When these people steal from public, the media rights, we need the same media that told us our president, our deputy president, our Rigathi Gachaguas of this world, Kipchumba Murkomen, Irungu Kangatas of this world received illegal payments from Nairobi City County. We need to be told, did Rigathi Gachagua, did Irungu Kangata return the money before they come bring the political card on our chest as people of Kenya and people of goodwill? Because this is hypocrisy. When the media writes a story, they are paid monies, they are paid a lot of money for them to conceal those stories and kill stories completely, Miriam. I submit.
All right, thank you so much. Professor, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And I totally concur with Dr. MATSANGA and Douglas. My master's thesis on peace and conflict transformation was on the media, the role of the media. And I found very interesting research and findings, Dr. Miriam, is that the media sets the agenda. That's the word which I want to come out very clear. We set the agenda on what people want to consume. You give them garbage, it's just like a computer, Miriam. You give the computer garbage, what will it do? It will give you garbage. So the media set the agenda, gives the information on what we want to consume. Miriam, you know as I do. Look at the document of BBI. We have said it more not once, not twice, several times that it's a good document. What does the media say? What does it distort? What are the likes of Martha Karua, the way Dr. MATSANGA is saying? What is the rights of Muruka? What are the rights of Professor Lumumba? What are the rights of Professor Kisangani saying, Miriam? And that is what the media wants us to consume. They give the negative sides. And the role of the media, Miriam, what it's supposed to do is to give balanced information. This is the information which has been said. What have you to say? That's professionalism. But Miriam, some of the newspapers, the one we give analysis, I can give you a testimony, Miriam. Some of the information which is written here is doctored. This is not the accurate information. Miriam, if people want to consume information, let them come to Punchline Africa, because we say things the way they are. We are not preacher or a respecter of persons. If it is corruption, in the morning, Dr. Miriam, didn't you hear me differing with the president? I said on this, I don't agree with it. I don't agree. Action must be taken. And it becomes unfiltered the way it is. So what I have to say that, Miriam, the media in this country has done a lot of damage. In fact, you hardly see the media talking about the economic development of this country, talks about the environment in this country, talks about health in this country, talk about education in this country. And this is what takes the country forward. Miriam, from Monday to Saturday, we talk politics, we sleep politics, we work out politics. And remember, Dr. MATSANGA said that the media is the member of the fourth estate. They are the one to give checks and balances of the government, Miriam. So, Miriam, if they have got information and they don't tell members to the public, Miriam, they have got a duty to educate the members of the public. Miriam, take the young child. If you are a child of 2 years, he goes on the top of the roof, and Miriam, seriously, you tell that child to fall down, the child will come down because he knows mommy or daddy will protect me. So the members of the public in this country, Miriam, we rely on the media, and imagine they give us garbage, and this is how the society dies. I submit.
Okay, thank you. Chevan.
Thank you, Miriam, for that. And we are having a very good conversation around the media and what it is to be or what it's supposed to do in order to shape the society. One, we need to understand that media is something that is involved with journalism. And journalism is an activity that involves gathering, collection, and dissemination of information to the public with the intentions of educating them, entertaining them, all informing them. That is the role, that is the sole mandate of the media. And when we talk of educating, the media needs to come in deep analysis and educate Kenya. If there's a subject like Douglas is talking about of corruption, the media work is to come and educate the public on the negative effects of corruption, on what damages can corruption cause to a country. That's what the media should do. But what we have in this country is a media that is siding with political players, is a media that is not balanced, is a media that is not independent, is a media that depends on information that is half-baked truth and facts. That is why we have lost the media. One role of the media also is the agenda setting role. The kind of things that we discuss comes from the media. The kind of the debate today, the people in Nyeri, when you go to the stage, the kind of topic they are discussing today is what is on the headline of the dailies, is what was said in the on the morning, is what was happening in Citizen TV in the morning, because they set the agenda that the people discuss. If the media is misused and is used to set an agenda that is negative, an agenda that kills democracy, an agenda that brings unfairness and mistreatment, that is what people will consume. This Asura narrative that we are talking about today, it is becoming serious because the media is giving us preference, is giving us a priority in every media. In the first story that they bring on the prime news is about the deputy president and the Hasrarism agenda and where he was donating wheelbarrows. When that is is made to be the best and the selling story of the day. That is what the public consume. And these people will end up seeing that this wheelbarrow that is being given all over the country and is all over the media, this is something that is good, and we need to celebrate that. Therefore, the media should come and set agenda that is good. They can bring an agenda that will educate Kenya on the effects of class divisions, on the effects of tribalism. That is the media. That's the role of the media. The media also is a voice. Is a voice to the voiceless. You can't be a voice to the voiceless when you are a voice of those who are making people to be voiceless. That is not the role of the media. The media needs to come out clearly and speak to those people who are intimidated. Speak to the people of Kenya today who are sleeping hungry. People who are starving today because their leaders have denied them a chance. They have denied them development. People today, as they have read today, there are some places in this country, farmers are crying because their produce in the farm will not get to market because of the poor conditions of the road. Then people who need to champion that is the media. The people who need that to take that information and give it attention to the leaders of that field, to the leaders of that county, is the media. They need to come and voice that in the public so that the leaders in that field can know that in a particular place in Muranga, roads are not accessible. There is a bridge that have broken down and they have been swept away by the floods. That is the work of the media. Therefore, all said and done, we need to have a media that lives on its mandate, a media that lives on its task. And it's high time that these khaki envelopes, these khaki brown envelopes that the media personalities, journalists get so that they can cover a story, so that they can taint and cause a character assassination. You know, today the media is used to kill careers. The media is being used to disconstruct people of good reputation and make them look like people who don't have an agenda to take this country to the next level. We have seen the kind of prominence that is given to the Tanga MPs. Yesterday I was watching Inoro TV and you could see, I don't want to say that any journalist is biased, but you could see the airtime that is being given to a particular member of parliament because he comes from a certain political outfit. That is not agenda. That on its own amounts to biasness. And the people who are listening to this, Kenyans who use the media as a medium of communication, as a medium to get information, as the agenda setting role. That is why today, those people who watched that program yesterday, they are talking of that particular member of parliament because he was given a lot of airtime. Therefore, as I conclude, this agenda setting role of the media should come out and they should set up an agenda that benefits the people of Kenya, an agenda that will benefit the growth of democracy, that will bring credible elections, that will bring Kenyans, you know, even the kind of foolishness that Kenyans have in terms of making decisions on the ballot has been caused majorly by the media because they don't advocate for electoralists to be upright mentally by giving them information that can persuade them to make good decision on the ballot. But what they do, they feed Kenyans with garbage and to a point where they cannot think uprightly because of the garbage that have been put in their minds and they cannot go and vote wisely. That is the media that we condemn. We want a media that is upright, but to have a media that is upright, we also need to have a government that is upright, a government that will give credit, a government that will come with the regulations to curb the spread of that kind of information. That is why today I'm happy of a registration that is being taken to a parliament by Kiamba member of parliament, Paul Koinange, so that we curb this hustler narrative. Because if we don't allow the media the freedom, and if the government does not intervene to ensure some of things are not put in the media has its freedom and they can put anything to the public. Therefore, the government also should be given a chance to regulate some of things that comes to the media. On the print media, the magazines, the newspapers, they also need to come with good headlines. And we know, Miriam, you are a journalist. Bad and negative information sells than positive information. Therefore, this shows that our media is more of a business enterprise than an enterprise that educates the people. They are more to sell than what will educate the people. That is why they come up with captivating headlines so that their newspaper will be bought. nothing else. They don't want to know the information that is contained. They don't want to know the leader, the reader of the newspaper, what information, what mindset will they get, what they are up to is the sellout of their newspaper. Therefore, it's high time also the editors of these newspapers come into mind and understand that the media is the voice to the voiceless. The media sets the agenda. The media is there to educate and to inform and to give information that is verifiable, accurate, and up to date and reliable. Thank you.
And to be truthful. Very important points there. You've talked like a true journalist there, Jeven Karanja. Thank you so much. And I think the key role of the media, and perhaps which is quite underestimated and understated, is the agenda setting role there, which is quite powerful because it sets the tone in what the country is talking about and what is important and what people perceive is important for them, because the media feeds that to them. And a very vital points that you've raised, Jeven. Douglas, I don't know, from what Jeven has said, what do you pick, especially when it comes to the role of media in agenda setting? Douglas. Professor.
Dr. wants to speak.
All right.
First of all, Miriam, I agree. Before Professor comes in, let's take a good example today of demolition of are they called combos? Combos in Kisumu. You know them? You know who the combos are in Kisumu? The Nubian combos. The demolition in Kisumu that took place on Saturday. Yes, because the Rere is renovating, revamping the Uganda, Nakuru, Kisumu Rere. Okay? But the Nubians, because the Rere was not working under Moi time, and all this time, they allocated themselves those plots. Some built on the Rere itself. Even some have made chairs that run to the other compound using the Rere. When the government, the Rere came to, yes, the Rere came to take its land. Look at the Kenyan media. You have seen what they have written there. The condemnation from Saturday. The importance of the railway reaching Kisumu from Nakuru is one of the fundamental infrastructural development and rehabilitation that the government, which will help Miriam to sit in the train from Nairobi without an accident, with his luggage, how heavy it is, whether you want to take potatoes, whether you want to take what to bread, the whole of supermarket, you book and pay and sit and it arrives in Kisumu. You carry it out, you take to your family, distribute to family members, unga moja, unga mbili, you come back. The burden is going to be lessened. Now, any journalist would weigh, is the demolition worse? What do we need? If these people have been given enough notice and the courts have been fidgeting, you got one judge, he gives you a counter injunction. This other court gives you another injunction saying go and demolish. So Kenya Railway has a target. The oil from Mombasa has to reach Kisumu port. Uganda has paid its money. Its oil is reaching on the Kisumu by pipeline or Naivasha. The goods are reaching Naivasha. But if more goods arrived in Kisumu, more containers will cross over across to Uganda by lake. Kenya will get more money. Kenya will be richer in terms of earning taxes from the goods exported through their territory. Now, I want you to tell me, between the demolition and the Kenya Railway, a constructive media would bring a narrative to condemn also the people who grab land. Land grabbers who sit on railway. There are so many people. Let me ask one thing. How come the people in Nanyuki and Nyeri, where Karanja comes from, you know that railway, they told them to leave. Karanja is here. People had built houses on Nanyuki railway. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you are right, Doctor.
Is there anybody from Mount Kenya who has complained?
What happened, Doctor?
No, honestly.
Yeah. The people complained initially, but after the demolition was done and after they were asked to vacate, now they are celebrating
And
the benefits of the railway. Yeah, now they are happy and they says it was
when they
prudent.
saw, they were, yes, you are right. They were given somewhere to go. The people in Kisumu have been given somewhere to go, but they are not happy. They have said Raila and Anyango Nyongo, yeah, Nyenye. They are even buying for their blood. Actually. They say, Baba, you see, you went into this thing of handshake. Now you see our houses have been demolished. But look, can you weigh the benefits? Can any journalist analyze the benefits of the Uganda Railway reaching Lake Victoria, of the railway from Nakuru arriving with goods, fish leaving Kisumu, heavy, a full wagon of fish which could reach here, refrigerated wagon. Uganda is earning money. Museveni is buying plane, Airbus, cash. Why? He is earning money from the fish from Mujingo Island. Kenya can equally earn money from Lake Victoria by bringing a refrigerated container from Kisumu every day to refrigerated Kenya Airways. Turn one of the Kenya Airways plane, because there are no more passengers, Jermaine. There are no more passengers. Remove the seat and bring ice inside. Ice clothing to carry fish into London, tilapia, fresh. The economy here, people want to cry of jobs. They want to cry of jobs. Every day from Entebbe Airport, there are 2 planes that leave with tilapia fish that is got from Lake Victoria, delivered in London. I can give you the names, the owners of the company, and where they deliver the goods in London. One of the Indians receiving these goods, the fish in London, is my best friend in London for almost 27 years. Imagine how much money they make a day, pounds. What about if you want to improve the lives of the people of Kisumu by sending the railway to carry that refrigerated fish back to Nairobi? How many people will lose weight by eating fish so that they look like a Miriam and other people and a Kirimi? You at least you are the lightest people on the show and the Garanja. Some of us are heavy people because we hammer meat, chips. They don't know. But the people eat fish. Miriam is from the fish growing area. This man is from the Mira area. Mira also reduced weight. But this is very good. It's a delicious. If it arrives in Nairobi, why should people go to buy meat stolen from Kapedo? Why do you buy meat when you have not queried. Yet there is free fish which God created in the lake. No journalist has followed the story. You see, from the other story of Capedo, Miriam, come back on this. When we brought up us as journalists on this television station, we spoke our mind on Capedo. Is there any more? Is there any more cattle rustling? Nobody wrote very nicely like we spoke. We said these thieves come through West Pokot into Uganda. Yesterday, Uganda government, Karamojongs, called the army to intercept people who were coming with cows and stealing stolen cows into Karamoja. Have you seen what MATSANGA has been saying here? Stolen cows. It is in Uganda television. Karamojongs said there is a group that has stolen cows and it is bringing cattle rustling again. And it is not part of us. So all along I was right when I was telling people there's something wrong that mixes Capedo Triangle with the cattle rustling around the common borders. That is journalism. You go behind the enemy. Listen to all these things. I listened of 200 prisoners, hardcore UPDF soldiers, breaking a jail and disappearing with guns near Turkana border. Where are they? Where did they go? Are they still in Kitale? Are they still in Lodwa? Natembeya told you that when we pursued them, they started running towards the Uganda border, isn't it? That is part of our journalism. We are the fourth estate. We alert agencies. If you don't alert the agents as the fourth estate, you are also a government. The media is also a government. But we journalists don't operate like ministers of government of the fourth estate. We operate like people who have lost our brains, but we are walking with legs. When they call you, come quickly and cover my function. Before you sit, you just put the camera and the microphone. You haven't asked, why did you call me here? And then you publish the story to your editor. Another point that we want to touch, Miriam, as we might soon be concluding in the next few minutes. Another point that we want to touch, commercialism, commercialization of the media. Has the media become commercial and not ideologically oriented? Media is supposed to inform the people. But does it inform itself for free? Is the media in Kenya, for example, the story, big fallout, big fight between on BBI, when the curfew is ending, Uhuru and Ruto showdown, it is a fear state. It's a state of fear. No investor can come when he knows that this country is going to be in a state of limbo. A man from Bangkok, where there is a military coup in Thailand, cannot remove his money and go and hide in a place where there is more chaos. They hide in a place where there is stability. Therefore, it is the media is the gateway for the nation to prosper. A media is gateway for the nation to pick an agenda. A media is the way for people to know about Somalia. For example, now, there's a very serious war of words between Somalia, in Somalia itself. The people have rejected what the president has done. Nobody has come up. These are things that touch us. We would like to know. I don't think there are people more worried about the teachers' promotion, which you have seen on one of your papers online. Teachers' promotion, they are going to teach where? Where? When you have not even opened the schools. Why do you promote teachers to get a salary for free? Tell me, is it a priority now to promote teachers or to recruit when the schools are not even fully open?
Schools are open, Doc.
Look at that. The generalization, the media brings in chaos instead of bringing in hope. Today, you have seen some people, newspapers, headlines online about the impeachment. They have said, oh, Tuju has come out to clarify. They say, I didn't say there is no impeachment, but I said Jubilee has not sat down to fine tune their grievances as a party. And then what did the media today, this morning, report? Which is flowing all over. It is flowing in favor of another person. They have just said 150 MPs of Hausa Nation are meeting Ruto in Karen. It is on your papers, I can see. Your television in Nairobi. It's there. But they have already misunderstood what the Tuju said yesterday. So it has now, as Karanja said, and Kirini and the professor, this is the message the common mwananchi picks, that Tuju is not worth it. Yet now Tuju is struggling to answer back, to say, I did not say we don't have grievances, but we said we have not sat down as a party to fine tune the grievances that we have. That's what I heard Tuju say. But the media came up and said, Tuju says they are not impeaching the deputy president. Miriam, there you are.
All right.
So someone has gone to the media last night and watered and changed just a simple wording of Tuju. I think it has brought Tuju more chaos. When they say no plans of, Tuju said they have not sat down to fine tune the grievances as a party. Therefore, he cannot comment further on the matter. And when they are ready, they will call the PG. You see, the media in the morning, the Standard came up and said, there are Jubilee has no plans to impeach. You see that, Professor? It is quite different. Now, what does it give to who is this planted the story? And why did the story come exactly a night before the meeting in Karen? Politicians have pocketed editors. On Friday, I saw the Standard newspaper group appointing editors. One of them that I saw is Peter Opondo. Sorry. Peter Opondo destroyed K24, brought it to the knees. All good journalists disappeared. Brought ladies who turned the plagiarized my work, stole my program called The Punchline. Peter Opondo. and you know, brought all these ladies, who showbiz ladies, that they were doing journalism on the television. Betty Chalo, Annie Kikuta, all these guys stealing people's work. But in objectivity, they didn't have any work. Tell me what was in the punchline, apart from listening to what MATSANGA talks the whole week. Then you now go and punch people. Yesterday I heard Mr. Peter Opondo has been, I've already called Gideon to find out how you could take such a stupid man to become an editor during the campaign days, when you know very well Opondo and Ruto are one person. Opondo likes money. I used to have a nightclub in Nairobi where I was a shareholder called Dolce. I think Kirimi will tell you he knows Dolce very well. He must have been not younger when Dolce was operating. Kirimi. Look at, and Peter Opondo used to fight there every day in my nightclub, every day. And because I said, but you are now my fellow journalist. Why don't you come slowly sit down? Every day. The women used to tear his shirt every evening, every night. That's Peter Opondo. Until I told him, never come. One night I carried him from down with my bouncers and we threw him out and they said, please don't come here. So such a man who carries anger takes it to you, and he's now the editor. So I asked Gideon Moy, have you brought a people who are going to speak against you in your own television session where you created with your money? I'm not against him getting a job. He can get a job, but he's not worth an editor. Peter Opondo is like Kerene, the Minister of Finance they are together. They are together in common blood. So it is, you have now brought more problems. That television station won't help BBI. Want to bring a balanced type of argument. Look at the people that they are bringing. I'm giving an example for you as we conclude the media. You can't bring Dr. Ojwang and bring Mr. Muruka. All of them drink in one cup. Ojwang does not like Raila. Because Raila, he said Raila stole his Homa Bay candidature, switched it off to the current MP of Ndiwa. He never. Muruka does not like anything to do with Uhuru and Jubilee. He works, he's an advisor, a political advisor. That's his title. But he talks for the wheelbarrow movement. So when you bring both the wheelbarrow movement on the panel, at least the panel of Sophie Wanuna is balanced. I was watching it. Mrave, Rigathi, Kakwaja, Rigathi, Sifuna, Kachagwa. You know I don't like him. That's why I can't even pronounce his name. There is one thing that you have to learn from me, which Miriam can tell you, that if I fail to pronounce something, it means I don't like it. I think by now she knows. Something like a Timoreo or something like that. I've failed to pronounce Shemo, what? I can't pronounce it. It has refused to come here. The name of Kachagwa. So I don't want to know it. Because Because you cannot have 7 billion shillings on account when others are dying of poverty. You have accumulated it. You have kept quiet with it. You are enjoying. That is the point. So in a nutshell for me, as I leave the stage, because Shakespeare said, there comes a time when a man has to talk and live. And to summarize up, we have said the dangers of Kenyan media is production of stories that lead us to war. I hope tomorrow, we are not saying all of them are very bad. There's some media, there's some stories, there are some people who write very good stories. But in the whole, there is a problem in the Kenyan media. And that is the situation that all of us need to correct and find out, change our behavior, methods, skills, equipment. Are we well ill-equipped? Are we low paid? Is the morale low? Let the media houses and the media owners find out some of those things that make their editors to publish stories that bring war and violence to Kenya. Thank you. I submit.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Professor Onyari. Thank you, Jeven Karanja. And thank you, Douglas Kirimi. Our time is far gone. I will not be asking any more questions, but we shall be seeing our viewers later. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Ogut. Bye-bye for now.